So the idea was, you know, nobody had ever infiltrated the mob before. You know, actually the Mafia. Had some informants in with them, but nobody had actually gotten in. So the idea was, let's try to hit the fences. Fences are the guys that
Sell the goods.
Sell the swag and sell the goods. So, you need to have a profession. I mean, nobody's going to do anything with you without a profession, and it has to be one that's attractive to them. And plus, in the government, if you're going to go undercover, your profession can't be one of violence. So, who's not violent? Jewel thief. So I figure, okay, I'll go in as a jewel thief. My backstory was I was an orphan. To back it up, we found an orphanage that had burnt down, and all the records were destroyed, so they couldn't check that. So I used to go to this one place, and actually this place wasn't too far from my apartment up in Yorkville. And wise guys would come in there, I don't remember if it was Wednesdays or Thursdays, I don't remember, with their girlfriends for dinner. And I always would sit at the bar, never talk to the bartender other than, what do you want? What do you want to eat? What do you want to drink? So one night I go in there and the wise guys are there. One of the girlfriends, but there's one guy missing. But the girl that he was always with was there. So I'm at the bar, and I guess she gets up, she goes to the ladies' room, she comes by, and she says hello. And I just said hello. Now, again, knowing your enemy, know how they operate. So the first thing I do is I call the bartender over, right? Now, I know his name, but I don't call him by his name because I was never introduced to him. So I just said, sir, would you, I said, I want to go on record. That's a mob term. I want to go on record. I didn't ask that young lady to stop and say hello. And he just nods, and that's it. Well, fast forward, this happens like 3 or 4 different times. And they're in there, she's in there, he's not there. About the 4th time, the same thing, she would come over and I would call him over. So finally he says, hey, he said, if you want to talk to her, go ahead. Her boyfriend went bye-bye. He didn't go to Disneyland, Joe.
Right, he got whacked.
They whacked him. So I said, no, I don't have any interest. So now what does this guy know? He knows that I'm a street guy, right? So he, now he comes over to me, and now we start talking, right? Talking about baseball, talking about how screwed up New York City is at the time. And finally he says, hey, my name is Charlie. I said, my name is Donnie. Now, that's another thing. These guys don't introduce themselves like normal people, like, hey, my name is Joe Rogan, or hey, my name is Donnie Brasco. It's nickname or first name. So that's another notch with him that this kid knows something. So a couple of weeks maybe go by, and then one night he says, hey, you like to gamble? I said, sure, why not? He said, when I bang up here, I'm going to go to an all-night game. He said, you want to come? I said, yeah. So we close up the joint with him, and takes me to a game. And obviously it's run by the wise guys. They got a whole casino set up. And doesn't introduce me to anybody, but I'm okay because I'm with him, right? So now this is a couple more weeks maybe. So now I figured now, and he don't ask me what I do, and I don't say anything about jewelry. So, but now I figured now I got to try to set the hook. So I come in one night, and I got a packet of diamonds, all right? So I put them on a bar, and I say, hey, Charlie, I need X amount of money for this envelope. I don't tell him what's in it. I just said I need X amount of money. But I give him a street price where he can make money himself. So he takes it, says okay, puts it under the bar. A couple of weeks go by. I don't ask him about it. He don't ask me. But I'm still hanging around with him. He comes in one night, puts an envelope on the bar, and he said, Donnie, somebody left this for you. I said, okay. I put it in my sport coat pocket. Get back to my apartment, and there's the money in it. All right? So now what does he know? He knows I'm a thief because I'm giving him diamonds. I'm not asking him at prices for Tiffany prices, right? Now we get to the game, and he introduces me as Don the Jeweler. So he introduces me to this Colombo guy. The guy's name was Jilly. So Jilly said, hey, Don, where you from? I said, well, I hung around some in Florida, hung around, California. I said, I just move around a lot. He said, well, why don't you come out to my place? I'm out in Brooklyn. And I said, yeah, okay. So I go out there, and I go out to his club, and he has a store, all swag. And so he was at the Colombos. So I start hanging out there with the Colombos, and I got in with him. I got in with his crew. Did some stuff with them, because you got to do something. Otherwise,
right?
If you ain't producing, you ain't worth it.
Like what's the first thing you have to do with them?
Well, they had they did some hijacking and unloaded some trucks for them and different things.